you guys really turned it on down the stretch last year. What was it that your team kind of figured out that you're able to really put together such a good stretch of play?
Well, first of all, I think we had great leadership. Danae Moore, who, she only averaged 4.5 points a game, but I think she was, from that standpoint, she was a great leader because her leadership wasn't dependent on her production. She didn't feel like, oh, I didn't score 15 points, I can't lead. So that was never an issue. So we had great leadership, and one thing we did is we became a little less structured offensively. I felt like early in the year with a younger team that we would have to be more structured because usually younger players, struggle when you don't give them enough structure, and so we kind of consciously made a decision to become less structured offensively because of our inconsistency the first half of the year. And so I think that, I don't know that was the, a huge factor, but I think that was definitely a factor, and then, like I said, the leadership and the fact that our younger players kind of continue to get better. You look at a kid like Sarah Nelson, who had a pretty good freshman year, but she was a really good player by the end of last year. And people talk about Carly, but Carly continued to get better. But I think other players who just got more comfortable as the season went on, younger players, I think that's what you see. Is at least that's what your goal is as a coach is to see that kind of improvement. Last year, our top 8 teams were in the top 140 to 145 of the RPI, which, out of 340 some, that's, basically you're saying that 8 of our 10 teams were in the top 40 to 45%, and that's good. But we had, Southern and Evansville were 300 and down, and that really kind of hurt our league RPI. Where the year before our league RPI was 8, and last year we were 10, and really it was more a function of those bottom 2 teams. So I think it's going to be good. I think Illinois State isn't a deep team, but their top kids are really good. Wichita State has really made an improvement in their program over the last 2-3 years. I think they'll be right there. I think Northern Iowa will be right there. So I think it'll be a good race. I don't think anybody comes back with no question marks, because even though we won the league tournament, we finished 4th. So it's not like we're going to need to get better to win the regular season. But I don't think we would have scheduled as hard as we did if I didn't feel like we could be a top 30 or 40 team this year. I mean, that's I'm not going to use Sweet 16 like Mac did last week because I don't think. But the last 3 games we picked up were BYU, Minnesota, and Oklahoma. And BYU went to the NCAA tournament. Oklahoma is a traditional power, and Minnesota is a BCS road. It's a road game. So those are the 3 that I had at the that I scheduled the latest. So I think obviously I felt like we wanted to play great teams, and as a coach you worry that you want to be challenged in a non-conference, but you don't want to get comfortable losing. And I don't look at our schedule and think we're probably going to go undefeated. So, but I think that's where I would say that reflects what I believe in this team, is that those wouldn't have been my last 3 choices for games if I didn't think we could be pretty good. Yeah, I mean I think we want to win the regular season, and we want to be better in the non-conference than we've been. Quite frankly, we haven't been bad. We're traditionally, a 5-6, 6-5, maybe 7-4 team, but we're playing a really good schedule. So I think we've got to win more than that if we want to put ourselves in a position for an at-large bid. But I think a regular season championship is sort of the goal, and we definitely have the experience and the depth to do that.